Hey guys, I see that there's 4 of you, 3 of you chilling in the live chat. Right now we are hanging out, but there's only 3 of us right now. So if anyone in the live chat happens to be able to draft right now, feel free to message me on Discord or jump into the hangout in the Sorcery at the Core Discord. Otherwise, we might not be able to fire a draft tonight, unfortunately. All right, what's up, guys? So we are actually gonna do a draft. but we're going to do something kind of weird. So we're drafting the Free City Cube, as you might have seen. You could draft minions a lot higher because there's less of them, or what you could do is you could kind of avoid drafting like cheap minions, and you could just draft all of the really expensive stuff because you're probably not going to die to a bunch of cheap minions because there's not that many of them. So not really sure which direction I want to go, but starting with Earthquake and then maybe taking a Root Spider feels like we're kind of going in the second direction where we're just going to play like the control game. I don't think anything else is really that close, so it's Mixed Terra or Root Spider. I really like the fast mana, but if we're going into a game plan to start out, I think just taking the Root Spider is a really good idea. Although, like, the fast mana, especially Mixed Terra, I really like this mix. But this is a really good defensive card, so I'm just going to take that. And I really like the Earth Air. Earth Air archetype in Cube. And Geomancer is a big part of that archetype. So kind of interesting to consider that. So one of the big wrinkles that's interesting with this cube is that Seer is the default avatar. So potentially that means maybe I just shouldn't take this Geomancer because I already have an avatar that's like pretty decent. I think Geomancer is probably better than Seer if I'm in that archetype, but maybe not all the time. So do I want Order? Do I want Geomancer? Do I want Silver Valkyrie? I think Silver Valkyrie is kind of weak. Forlorn Keep, but I don't really like those exceptional sites that are so good in Gothic really aren't that impressive in Cube. So yeah, otherwise like Rolling Boulder I think is the other consideration. Rolling Boulder's really good, and it does kind of fit the game plan. But I probably want to have some good sticky minions early. I'm just not really sure. I think any of these cards is pretty reasonable to take here. So I guess I'll just take the kind of generically good minion, and it's also like good against the best avatar in Cube, which is Necromancer. All right, so no Earth cards in this pack. I mean, Divine Healing is kind of just for Archimago. There is a Windmill. Atlantean Fate, I just don't think is very good in Cube. It's incredible and constructed, but I think in Cube it's really not that impressive, and we're playing Root Spider, so I guess we should be aware of that. There is an Atlantean Fate in the pool, so whoever's playing Water might blow us out if we have a Root Spider on a non-ordinary site, but most of my Cube decks play like almost all ordinary sites. So yeah, I think then there's Polymorph. Yeah, I might just take a site here. I don't know. I guess that's kind of weak. I just don't really want to be Earth Air if I'm playing Earthquake Root Spider. Or sorry, Earth Water. So yeah, do I just take Valley of Delight? Because we could end up Earth Fire, and then I don't really want any of these, but I'd still be happy to have Valley of Delight, so I guess I'll take that. Yeah, this should be a interesting cube draft. Oh, right, we got a Pathfinder. I think Pathfinder's just incredible. I really want this Buried Alive, but I'm not gonna take it over just like a really premium avatar. So yeah, I think I'm in for that. And then there's a Gibbous Night Gaunt, a Buried Alive, and a Sir Bors, which all kind of point toward Earth Air being the open lane, although we did have signals that Water looked sort of open. So yeah, we should keep an eye on that. But Earth is looking open enough that I feel okay about where we are. We got a Pudge Butcher. I think that's just what we want. It's pretty good against, I don't know, I guess decks that just don't have that many minions. Like, yeah. I mean, Pudge Butcher's just great. I don't know. I don't have to say anything about it. It's just a great card in this cube. Like, aggro is sometimes viable in my cube, but I I think in this one just because there's less cube, but I think in this one just because there's less minions, that might just not really be the case. So, well, let's see. There's an autumn unicorn. That's pretty nice. Gigantism doesn't really work with some of my minions so far, but that's probably fine still. Yeah, I think it's between those, or like Key to the City potentially. I don't know. Like, is Autumn Unicorn generic enough that I should just take Gigantism? Not really sure, to be honest. I think in that case, because there's just less minions in the cube, I think that when you're in between two different picks, you should just take the minion. Like, I did 4 practice drafts against bots, and every single draft I had 13 or 14 minions, and most of my regular draft format decks have about 17 minions. I think in cube you can get away with like 15, but 13 or 14 I feel like is a little bit rough. So just making sure that we have enough minions is, I think, going to be really important. Wow, there's a mixed Terra that actually wheeled. That's kind of surprising. So, all right, mono Earth it is. Yeah, Animist is in the cube, Corruptor, Avatar of Fire. Cube, I just don't think that there's enough support for Death Speaker, and Ironclad, I guess Ironclad on a makeshift barricade in limited, the Ironclad has lost the game. So I just haven't really been impressed by that combination of things. So yeah, I think Rangam Miniad or Silver Valkyrie. I think I'm just gonna take the generic minion. I could also actually take this Apex of Babel. If we see Avatar of Earth, do we pivot out of Pathfinder? I don't really think so, but fun to think about. Is Divine Healing actually okay? Because if we do end up just taking a bunch of like fast mana and expensive Earth stuff, and then a bunch of like Earth berry effects and removal and root spiders and stuff, then we do just want to survive as long as possible. But I just don't think we're getting beaten down at any point, really. So, yeah, I think it's between these two, I guess. Yeah, I think it's between these two, I guess. I guess it's better to take the Earth Air site. I'm not actually 100% sure about that, but that's probably the case. All right, there's an orb, a Gnome Hollows. Gnome Hollows is kind of just bad for us, although like it is a good defensive site. So maybe it's still okay for us, but like literally none of our minions can enter it so far. And it's also like we're playing Pathfinder, so we can't really position it where we want it. I think I'm going to take Flamecaller because I know that Justin drafts Monofire Flamecaller like sometimes. I mean, I say he drafts it all the time, but he's drafted it like 4 times ever or something, which has enough for me to take note of it at least, but not so much that it's like crazy or anything.